Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Brian Quigley. Brian Quigley is the Chief Executive Officer for Qnovia, a California venture-backed health technology company focused on commercializing proprietary inhalation device technologies to improve patient outcomes. Qnovia is currently engaged with FDA CEDR to pursue a combination product authorization as the first inhalable prescription smoking cessation therapy. Brian Quigley has 25 years of marketing, regulatory operations, and general management experience for public companies, private equity-backed businesses, and venture-backed businesses. He developed a focus on inhalation devices through his time in tobacco, which gave him an understanding of the risks of tobacco use, the opportunity to reduce risks for smokers, and the current generation of technologies. Well, good afternoon, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you making the time today. Again, traversing the globe today, we're get to talk to you about a little bit more in your company and what you're doing, and would like to learn more so we can get your message out to our global audience. So, Brian, jumping into these questions here, you've got quite the career in marketing, strategy. You're a senior executive. Now you're the Chief Executive Officer for Qnovia. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, I think that the secret to my experience and my career growth is really I love solving problems. From early days, I was a English major and I had no idea where I wanted to go, but I started working at a small marketing firm and loved solving problems, and throughout my entire career, whether it's in Fortune 150 businesses or helping small local retail businesses. Or solving consumer problems and meeting unmet needs. That is really what inspires me, and that's really what's driven every decision I've made in my career and where I want to go and how I want to have an impact.
Thank you, and I love to hear these stories as well as our audience, because in your case, you started out as an English teacher early on, right? And it's interesting how the different chapters in our life evolve and are written eventually, and where we land. So I appreciate your story. So, Brian, talk to us about your proprietary inhalation-based technology that addresses many of the limitations of traditional pharmaceutical drug delivery systems to help improve patient outcomes.
Yeah, sure. One of the most efficacious ways to deliver drugs and therapies to the human body is via inhalation. The legacy technology that's been used is called, vibrating mesh nebulization. And there are many challenges with the platforms that exist today to deliver those inhaled drugs to a patient for patient outcomes. They require maintenance and cleaning. They're cumbersome. They're bulky. There's not precision delivery of the drugs. So, the adherence and compliance to the actual prescribed use regimen to get the drug you need is really hard to follow, and therefore the patient suffers. And so our founder, Mario Danek, he spent a lot of time to really understand how can some of those challenges be solved, and how can they be applied? And so he's taken some legacy vibrating mesh nebulizer technology, but miniaturized it and has turned it into really a portable kind of consumer-friendly, patient-friendly package that requires no cleaning, can deliver improved efficacy of delivering drugs, but do it with precise dosing, knowing where you stand, and also even having the ability to connect into digital frameworks for patients and practitioners to see that data. And we think there's a host of applications for that, for our device technology to improve patient outcomes. But what we're currently focused on primarily is our path to get the FDA to approve a prescription application for this technology to be used to deliver a therapy to help smokers quit smoking.
That's awesome. And again, leveraging some of the innovations in technology is so promising, especially in the world of healthcare, which I've spent some time in. So very promising, very exciting. And thank you for sharing. And Brian, you're obviously leveraging some new and emerging technologies, obviously, in your business. Is there something you might be able to share with our audience today?
Well, I think that what I can share is, some of the challenges of these existing technologies that drove Mario's initial innovation for our platform device technology, is really to focus on what are the consumer and patient needs, right? The ability to be user friendly, to know where you stand in your use regimen, and our vibrating mesh nebulizer device, which is I'm holding it right now. It's fits in the palm of my hand, can fit in my pocket, and it also is orientation agnostic, so it allows the patient to administer their medicine in any way, place that they need to, and to do so effectively. And I would say the reason we focused on the smoking cessation indication for our first application to FDA CDER, that's important to us because that is a huge unmet need. There are 40 million smokers in America. Every year, 60% of those smokers will try to quit. And the unfortunate reality is, those people will almost all fail because the number one way they try to quit is just to quit cold turkey. They've tried the existing therapies that are available to them, and they know they're ineffective. And so, taking this technology and delivering it to them in a way that can actually give them a chance to be more successful of breaking the chain of addiction to smoking, which is still the leading cause of preventable death and disease, is something that is I think needs to be a huge priority from a public health perspective, and where we can really solve a significant problem for millions of Americans.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate, again, the work that you're doing and leveraging the technology to help people ultimately save their lives. So, Brian, last question for you today. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in either leadership or marketing?
It's a great question. I think it's really easy to overthink it. For me personally, what I have always done through my entire career is to follow my passion and seek out good people who I think I can learn from, people who can teach me, people who kind of foster the right collaborative environments. Whether there were bosses or colleagues. So if you have I believe if you really have those two common elements, no matter where you are, what you're doing, you'll love the challenge. You will fight through the hard days, and you will have great partners to solve those problems with. So I think follow your passion and work with great people are the two things that I think everybody should do. And if you do those two things, I think you'll always be satisfied and be up for the challenge.
Thank you for sharing. And again, some great gems that you shared with me today. And we get to turn around and share this with a large global audience. So thank you again. And Brian, it was a pleasure having you on today. And I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Thanks so much.
Bye for now.